I am CRA designated. What that means is that I specialize in working with first-time buyers. Okay, Liberty is we just celebrated our 200th years. My manager's going like this. She's in the audience, but we just celebrated our 200th years last year. So we've been around for quite some time. Our headquarters is out of Middletown, Connecticut. I have an office in New Haven, but we service the whole entire state of Connecticut. Okay. At Liberty, we have a team of experts that specialize specifically in working with first-time buyers. Okay, we don't just have one person to, do all the work. We have a team that's dedicated to working with the community, doing our outreach, but most importantly, making sure that we help those folks that are coming in, that are purchasing for the first time. Okay, we like to make sure that if there's programs available, you're going to get them. I tell my manager all the time, we don't want to leave anything on the table, especially when it comes to a first-time buyer. We want to make sure that you get, if there's programs available, that you utilize them, that you get them, because oftentimes I have customers come to me, they might have gone to another lender, they don't know about the state of Connecticut, they don't know about, HTF, BNT, they just don't know. You have to work with a lender that knows what they're doing when it comes to, first-time buyers and the programs that are available. One of the programs that we work with is the state of Connecticut, state bond program, Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. And I'm going to stop there and I'm going to give you a little tip. The state of Connecticut offers classes, okay, they are free. You don't have to pay anything. You could go onto their website. If you want to write down the website, it's chfa.org. You go on there, you sign up for the class. They offer first-time buyers class. They also offer, if you want to be a landlord, you could take the landlord class through them. That's your very first step. I always tell my customers, go, take the class. Whatever you do, take the class. It is an 8-hour class, okay? You could do it, they offer it on Zoom. So you could take it from the comfort of your home, your kitchen table, your living room. So it's real easy to take. It's a requirement if you are going to be using a first-time buyers program. Take it. They bring in a lender. They bring in an attorney. They bring in a realtor, an insurance agent, and a home inspector, okay? They tell you about the home ownership from the very beginning to the end, to the closing, okay? It's free, and it's a requirement, so take it. I have folks that tell me, I'm going to take it for the second time. Take it for the second time. When they give you the certificate is good for 1 year, okay? And the reason we advocate for that is because when I'm working with a first-time buyer, I want to make sure that they understand, right, home ownership. Right? That's probably the biggest purchase of your life, the biggest purchase you're ever going to do. And you want to do it right. You don't want to be sitting at an attorney's office, right? And attorneyship will tell you. You don't want to be sitting there and have unanswered questions about, what am I going to pay? Some people come to me, they don't even know. They get pre-approved by other lenders. And they may get pre-approved for $500,000. But you know what they don't know? They don't know what the payment is going to be for $500,000. When I sit down with my customers, one of the very first things I ask my customers, hey, have you sat down and figured out your budget? What you feel comfortable paying on a monthly basis? Okay, let's work from that. Because I could tell you that you qualify for $500,000, right? Doesn't mean she's nodding, she knows. So it doesn't mean you want to run out and buy a $500,000 home, right? You work within your means, within your budget. I tell my customers, listen, if you're going to buy a house, make sure you do it the right way. Because the last thing you want to do is sign on the dotted line, move into that home, and be house poor. All you're doing is working to pay your mortgage. You don't want to do that, right? You want to live and you want to do it, and you want to do it the right way, and you want to be comfortable with those mortgage payments, right? I take that to heart when I'm talking to someone because I want them to understand about home ownership, what their payments are, what the responsibilities that come along with being a home owner. That's why the educational piece is so important to us, to Liberty, and to all these people that are up here, right? Because they understand, especially our nonprofits, they know what's involved. So we want to make sure that if we put you into that home, you stay in that home. Last thing we want to do is foreclose on a house. Banks don't like foreclosing on a house. We don't want to take homes, right? So that's the very first step. Make sure that you take that class, right? The other thing that I tell my customers is build yourself a team. I call it the VIP team. Make sure you get yourself people in your corner that are going to help you, that know, that are going to answer your questions, right? So what I call the VIP team, right, is the first step was taking that class. You're going to take that class. If you take it through the state of Connecticut, you're taking that class with a HUD certified agency. I believe right now they have 12, 15. I'm not sure how many they have on board, but they have them, right? And they're certified. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing, right? So that's going to be your first step. What's your second step? Get a lender that is going to answer your questions, all right? A lender that knows what they're doing when it comes to working with first-time buyers or any client, right? Anyone, even if you're you're refinancing, whatever you're doing, that knows, and they're going to explain to you. But when it comes to our first-time buyers, you have to work with a bank that knows what they're doing, and that they're also connected with a lot of the nonprofits like BNT. BNT does wonderful work here in the city of Bridgeport. Okay, they're right here on State Street. She's smiling. They're wonderful. They do a great job, okay? There's also HDF, okay, Housing Development Fund. They're based out of Stamford, but they cover the whole entire state of Connecticut, okay? They also do a great job, and we partner with them. We also partner with CHAFA, and I'll say a little something. Last year, my manager, who's sitting in the audience, received a Community Impact Award because of the work that Liberty does in the community. We also receive awards for what's referred to as layering the loans. And I'm going to explain that in a minute, okay? So our bank was awarded with both of those awards for doing all the work with the community and helping our first-time buyers, okay? So get a good lender. Ask questions. You should ask questions. Again, when you're sitting with the attorney here, you don't want to have questions unanswered. You want to make sure that everything's answered. So far we have, right, the nonprofits that are going to offer the class. Take it through the state of Connecticut, right? We have a lender. Pick a good lender, okay? Can anyone else tell me here who they would like to, they think would be good to have on their team? I think a really good real estate agent. And we have 3 sitting up here. So you get yourself a really good agent, okay? Make sure that they listen to what you want, okay? Where you want to live, what town you want to be in, the type of home you want, right? And, work with them, ask them questions, make sure that, you're happy with them, that they're helping you. That if you tell them, listen, this is where I want to, as long as it's reasonable, right? Because you can't look at $1 million house if you're qualified for, $500,000. So you got to be reasonable. You got to work with them, and I'm sure they can guide you through that process. But make sure you find yourself a really good real estate agent, okay? The next thing we want is we want a good inspector. Get an inspector, okay? So that's going to be your team. She's telling me that I have 2 minutes. I could go on and on and on. But what I want to say is make sure that you're prepared. We are here to answer your questions, okay? We offer make sure you take the class. Make sure you take the class, whatever you do. I think I have like another minute. But yeah, we're here for you. We have the programs. We work with the nonprofits. Make sure that you're working with good people. Make sure you ask questions. Don't get to the closing table and have unanswered questions. My information is here all over the place. You can call me. Like I said, we have a team of experts that'd be happy to help you with your home ownership journey. Good? I did good. I'm within a minute. I could go on all day if you let me.
Thank you,
Because
Millie.
I love helping our first-time buyers. Thank you very much for inviting me here today.
Alan, she didn't flip her PowerPoint. Can we get to Kyle? Kyle, you're next.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Kyle Jones. I'm a real estate agent with Rising Legacy Realty. And I'm here to explain to you the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval. And as the old Baptist pastor used to say, I will not be before you long. So pre-qualification, and pre-approval sound very similar. You would think they mean the same thing, but they are very, very different. Pre-qualification, the best way that I can explain it is, it's an estimate. You talk to a lender, you give them basic information. They ask you about your income, how long you had your job, things of that nature, if you have assets. But nothing is really verified. So it's basically an estimate based on what you told them. This is the ballpark you land in. Pre-approval requires a little more of a stringent process. They will verify your W-2s, your tax returns, your pay stubs, your job history, meaning you can't tell them you got a good job and you've been there for 2 months. That's not enough history. And of course, they'll check your assets, like your checkings and savings accounts. The reason why you should get pre-approved as opposed to pre-qualified is for 2 reasons. One, a pre-approval puts you in a strong position when you want to make an offer on a house. And the truth is, if you don't get pre-approved, most good real estate agents won't even take you out until you have talked to a lender. So you don't even start your shopping process. And I think that sums it all up.
I agree, because especially with gas prices going up, they're not going to drive you around. Okay, we have Vera.
All right, guys, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm so glad to see some new faces here. And I'm so grateful to Pastor Dexter, who is allowing us to have these opportunities. Thank you, Pastor. So honored to be under your leadership. Thank you. I want to talk to you about a few minutes about the role of your realtor and why you should choose a realtor. I've been in business for about a little over 23 years. And I'm finding that your realtor really plays a crucial role in your decision when it comes to buying a house, right? So the way I do it is your realtor is going to give you access to a team of people. Access is very important because you may need attorneys, you may need inspectors, you may need contractors, you may need professionals that they have relationships with that could just be a phone call away, and that gives you access to whatever it is you need. And that's very important because a lot of times when you're going through this process, it can be very strenuous, very difficult, and you will need some answers. So, you know, things are based, really, relationships are very important. I make it a habit of myself when I, take on clients to, sometimes you may not want to be pushed into a contract right now. The state of Connecticut does they regulate us, and we're supposed to have you sign a document binding you to us for the next 3 months or 6 months or 9 months. But if you're uncomfortable with that when you're choosing a realtor, what you can do is, and what I like to do is I said, listen, we'll sign a contract for 1 day. Let's go out. Let me vibe you up. Let me pray. Let me see how you are, because I want to work with people that are workable and that we can gel and that we can make this transaction good, right? So if you don't want to bind yourself to somebody and you think, you might hop over here and hope, which is not really good for you to really hop, but to really, interview an agent, get a referral. Relationships are very important. So getting a referral from someone and that, hey, this person is credible, this person, which is very, very, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're buying something that's overpriced, something that's a problem, and you have, someone who's kind of misleading you and not being transparent with you, okay? I pride myself on all of my clients. I have them in my phone as clients for life. So when I have their name at the end of it, I have clients for life. Why do I do that? I do that because to remind myself. It's not just you're just going to buy a house from me, but you become a part of my family, right? You become a part of my team. You now have access to me. If something goes wrong in your life, or even out of real estate, if it's, you need pastoral counsel, I'm going to call my pastor and see if he could get in and help you. or I'm going to call a friend, or I'm going to call somebody at an agency and see how we can help you. I become like that referral service, someone that you can trust. So it's important that you develop relationships with people, and based on those relationships, it's good to have someone that you can have a good relationship with, good rapport, someone who's transparent, and someone who's going to really navigate you through this as much, because it can be very, very stressful. And when you're dealing with somebody that's difficult, if the personalities are not there, and if you can't trust your agent, if you think that, then maybe you need to search for another agent. But it's good for you to call up an agent, or, spend a few minutes with them. They'll talk to you. And just talking to them, I got 6 minutes, Beth, I see it. And talking to them, you get an idea. Can I work with this person? Is this person honest? Is this person going to be, looking out for my best interest? Because your agent is your advocate. Right? They become your advocate, and they're going to advocate on your behalf to get the best deal possible for you, and the pricing. So, and remember, this is your largest financial investment. So you do want to get a good agent who's going to best represent you in this transaction, right? Prevents costly mistakes and advocates for prevents costly mistakes, my God. So your agent, no home is perfect. So you want an agent who has some knowledge, you could use a new agent, of course, but someone who's relatively knowledgeable and could go in a house and see some obvious deficiencies, right? So when you walk in a house, immediately, like we're trained to see red flags. We can tell if the roof is at the end of its life, or if the hot water tank is at the end of its life, or there's asbestos or lead paint, or any kind of situation that's going to be, or the stairs, or the house may not pass inspection. Well, you can rely on your agent, because they should immediately know that as going through that house with you, say, your loan may not qualify, to purchase this house because of the condition of the house, right? Broken windows, the chimney's tilting, different deficiencies, like as simple as a broken window to like a railing not being there, or some of the things are not to code. Maybe the deck is not up to code. But these are things that your realtor can right away tell you, okay, these are the things that need to be done. And if you want to pursue this, then we're going to probably look at either getting a different type of loan, or negotiating on the price, or advocating that these items be adjusted or fixed or repaired before closing in order to make this deal happen. So, and also your realtor is going to provide you with expertise regarding the market, right? When you go to submit an offer, you want someone who is knowledgeable about the market. They're going to provide you comps. They're going to give you an idea of what that neighborhood is going for, what that house could be selling for, if it's a deal, or if it's overpriced, or what kind of market you in. So having someone that is experienced, and not just experience, but even new agents. I mean, there's a lot of tools at our disposal, so new agents can jump right into this and become quickly, an expert in this field, and knowing, okay, what's going on in the market. But you need an agent that's going to provide these tools for you, or tell you, or lead you in a way that you can get the information that you need. Next one, handles negotiations. That is a big one. And I think good agents really possess this skill. And I try to do my best at negotiations, because negotiations are very important. Your agent is going to not only advocate for you, but negotiate the best possible price for you, right? The best condition, the best terms, and is going to seek your interest in this and become an advocate, and advocate toward that other agent and negotiate with them and possess, because usually if the one that has the best negotiation skills are going to get a better deal, you'll be more representative by that. And not necessarily that you walk away where somebody has to lose from that situation, but mainly create a win situation for both parties, but also making sure that buyer is well aware of what they're getting in a good product, right? So and then understanding, okay, your agent is going to, of course, understand, take you through the contract process, familiarize you with paperwork, and just give you an idea of how, and hold your hand throughout this process, because it is this is your first large, the financial investment that you'll make in your lifetime. So you're going to rely on that agent as you get nervous, as things happen, as, the bank is asking for this or the bank is asking for that, and some things happen. Maybe the inspection, you got issues at. You're going to rely on your agent to walk you and navigate you through these difficult times and getting through this transaction. So it's important for you when you're choosing an agent, call them up. You have agents here. You can call and they'll talk to you for a few minutes and, and get an idea. Okay, if this is someone, would you be interested in working with me, or can I have a few minutes of your time? And most of us will give you like a consultation. You could come and meet us at our office. We'll sit down. We'll go over what you're looking for, and then we'll sit down and say, okay, well, here it's X, Y, Z. We can go shopping. Since you now got your approval, we can go shopping, and you can see. So you can also not just commit to that agent for 6 months if you're uncomfortable with that, but you can say, listen, maybe we can do a 30-day trial period, right? And I'm like that because I really don't want to hold somebody hostage over a contract. I want you to want to work with me. So if you want to work with me, or you see an agent down the street that you gelled with and you want to go hop over there and you want me out, I let people out of their contracts. Like, I do that, right? I want you to want me, and I want to want you. So I don't want to have any kind of hostile. But some agents will hold you to that contract. So you have to be mindful when you sign a contract. How long is that contract for? And remember, you can't hop to different agents if you're in a contract with one agent. Okay? So that is my time. I'm Vera Maximin. I'm with the Higgins Group, and we'll be here after for any questions that you may have. I have my colleague Linda over there who's here, my assistant Catherine, and we'll be here to answer any questions that you have after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Now we have attorney Nate Shipp. He's new. Your old attorney is over there. He's retiring at 83.
There we go. I was never the AV guy in school. Good morning, everyone. So,
I don't think it's on.
still not on? It's on? All right. I'll speak louder. I usually don't need a microphone, but we'll wing it here. You've heard the process so far as getting pre-approval. And again, this makes a major difference as far as knowing what it is that you're going to be able to shop for, and also the likelihood that you're going to get approved once you make application for the property that you've identified that you're going to buy. I would start with pre-approval because then when you go to your realtor, you know how much house you're going to be able to buy and qualify for. You want to make sure that you have shopped for your realtor and that you have chosen someone. I always say, referrals are wonderful, but you should always talk to your realtor and you get an idea of how long they've been doing it, what the not necessarily success rate is, but how many houses have you purchased or worked with clients. You don't want to start off new. I know there are new realtors that are out there, but you don't want to be there first. The same thing goes with attorneys. You want to make sure that you talk to your attorney. Referrals are always best because you know that they've been successful with someone that you knew. But if you're calling and you want to make sure, ask them how many closings they do a month. If they tell you one or two, I would say run. The other side of it is ask for pricing. The attorneys will be glad to share how much it's going to cost. And I do want to say that the old saying that you get what you pay for, be very, very careful. There are attorneys out there that you might be able to get for $5.95. And you're going to get $5.95 worth of service. You're going to find that when you call, when you write, they don't respond to you. You don't even sometimes get to contact the attorney. You want to make sure that whoever you're going to be working with, you're going to hear from them, the attorney, and also their staff. And I'll be quite honest. attorneys are dime a dozen. It's the paralegal at the law firm that drives it. And I have to tell you, I've got the world's best. My good fortune. I think there are a few people here that could probably attest to that. She makes me look good. But the thing is that we always make sure that we're in touch with everyone and we address all questions. Now, you heard Vera say that the realtors work through the contract. In Connecticut or in Fairfield County, contracts are kind of in a new phase. There are many realtor contracts that are actually contracts. So sometimes the realtors now in Fairfield County are actually taking you to contract. Why is that important? You want to make sure that an attorney has eyed that contract if it's the one that's going to bind you for the purchase of your property. So you want to make sure that there's a provision for an attorney review, or that you say, you know what, I don't want to send it to the other side until the attorney's taken a peek at it. What makes that important is make sure you have identified an attorney so you're not scrambling at the last second. The whole purchase process is very fluid. You find the house, you get excited, you want to make an offer, you sign either a binder or a contract, and it needs to move quickly because in this market, there are so many buyers and so little inventory that you really have to be in a position to move forward. So again, everything else that we've talked about, pre-qualification, realtor, lineup attorneys, even think about inspectors. But your realtors will be glad to share with who they've had success with over the years as well. With the binder or a contract from the realtors, we take a look at it if it's an attorney contract that we're going to go forward with. But usually what happens in Fairfield County, again, the rest of Connecticut does things a bit differently, is that we then take that binder, or even sometimes the realtor contract, and then turn it into an attorney contract. It really depends on who the other attorney is on the other side. There are some attorneys that just will refuse to move forward on a realtor contract. I'm not one to refuse. I'm one that prefers to have an attorney contract. Why? There are that many more protections in it for you to have that attorney contract. So you really want to make sure that you have the benefit of really having the full process explained to you. The contract is going to identify the property. It's going to identify how much you're paying for it. It's going to look at the deposit that you're going to be making, the initial deposit. Usually you give 1% at the time that you're signing this paperwork, and then the balance of the deposit is then paid at a certain date. If it's an attorney contract, it's going to be with the return of the signed contract, the balance of that deposit. So usually it's 1% and then usually 9%. So you're usually looking at 10% deposit. Sometimes we can get it down to 5%, but it depends on what your financing programs are as well. With first-time home buyers, there are so many various products that will allow for a lower deposit, and we work with that and try to make sure that that happens also. But make sure that everybody's clear on, from your lender's standpoint, what type of loan program that you're going to have as well. What also makes that important when you're talking to your attorney or interviewing your attorney is that they are familiar with the various loan programs that are available. I've been doing this, you're going to tell me I don't look it, but I've been doing this 33 years. And I was a mortgage banker for 10 before that. And it just makes it important that you're dealing with someone that really knows the products that are available. Very early on in my career, I was fortunate enough to have worked with HDF for a good number of closings, and other various lenders that had these wonderful, well, they still do, but they have these wonderful programs for assistance. I've spoken to groups over the last 30 plus years. This is my first time here, hopefully not my last, that have taken advantage or given these opportunities for people to have affordable housing. It's something I've been very passionate about since day one, because it's a matter that I believe that everybody has to be able to believe. I've always wanted to, or imagined that the ministers would one day preach from the pulpit, about home ownership as well. And the fact that everybody sitting in that congregation can be a homeowner. There's simple things that have to be done, but the biggest step is belief. Once you believe, you can attain. So keep that in mind. And home ownership is a way of accumulation of wealth. I know I'm running out of time. No. Okay. Okay. So let me go through the contract process real quick. We're going to sign the contract. We're going to look at it. An inspection will have been arranged. Once the inspection comes back, you're going to be able to tell if there are any issues that need to be addressed for negotiation for either the seller to make repairs or a price reduction or a credit as well. And hopefully someone will talk about credits for closing as well. I think I'm not going to have time. But then from there, we have mortgage contingency date. What does that mortgage contingency date mean? It means that they're giving you X amount of time, usually 45 days, we prefer, even though I see contracts come in sometimes with 30, 21. It's not likely. So if someone's telling you we're going to close in 3 weeks, don't believe it. Call your attorney, and they'll tell you what's going to be realistic. Call your bank. Actually, call your banker. Your banker is going to tell you what a realistic date is going to be. And then it's going to identify the closing date as well. We're going to order a title search for you, and the title search just shows that they have good, clear title to the property and what has to be satisfied to give you that clear title, and that they have good ownership as well, and nothing's going to affect. We're also going to order a municipal search to make sure if any work was done on the property, that all permits were closed out by the town they came out to inspect. So we want to make sure that when you buy that property, you're not going to have any headaches. We handle the title in Connecticut. We can wear a lot of hats. We also represent your lender as their counsel, and we're also the title company. And like in New York State, that's 3 different bodies. In Connecticut, it's all one. I'm kind of out of time here, but we'll get you to the closing table. Closings are a little different than they used to be, but it's a smooth process. The day of the closing, we're going to need you for about an hour, and that's about it after you do your walkthrough, just to sign your mortgage paperwork, and then we'll take care of finishing it off for you. It's been great being able to speak to all of you, and I wish you all well, and remember, you all can walk out of here and buy a house.
Thank you, Nate. Now, I just want to stress pre-approval. All of you think pre-approval, we don't need to submit documents. The proper pre-approval, you will be asked documents, income documents, asset documents, your firstborn if you have one. I'm just teasing. Also, I always tell people, do not sign anything until your attorney reads it. Once you sign, it's done. Now we have a very popular speaker, Stephen Roberts.
All right. Is this going up on the screen? Perfect. All right. Good afternoon. You guys learning a lot or what? Yeah. Perfect. Well, my name is Stephen Robert. I'm the CEO of Bedrock Credit America. For the past 19 years, I've been doing credit education and restoration. I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know about credit because on a daily basis, I see people that make mistakes that sink their ability to be able to qualify that much sooner. Okay, so I'm going to give you a lot of information in about 15 minutes. If anybody has any questions, my information is outside. Grab my sheet and feel free to reach out to me, okay? So in dealing with credit, the first thing we have to understand are who are the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, are simply data warehouses. Where are they collecting data from? Any idea? Accounts that you pay. So what do you guys pay? Yell it out. Credit cards, car loans. What else? Student loans, mortgages, right? Every time you're paying these accounts, hopefully on time, that information gets sent to the credit bureaus. What happens if you don't pay something on time? That can impact your credit? How much can it impact it? Yell out a number. 30 points. What else? I've seen it go from 50 to 100 point drop with one late payment. You have to make sure that you're monitoring your credit and you're doing what you need to do. How do you do that? Who here uses Credit Karma? Stop that. Stop that immediately. Don't use any of these third-party websites. No Credit Karma, no CreditWise, no freecreditreport.com, none of these. Do not use these websites. You want to use websites to see your credit? You have 2 options. The first one is called annualcreditreport.com. Has anybody ever heard that one? Yes. Perfect. Annualcreditreport.com is fantastic because it gives you the ability to go directly to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion for free. It does not count as an inquiry. It's going to give you all your data to make sure that you're getting all your information. What will it not give you? Scores. If we want scores, we have to go to myfico.com. Why? Because when you're trying to buy a house, the only scores that you care about are FICO scores. Have we all heard of FICO scores? Yes. FICO scores are the most important scores that all the lenders have used over the past 26 years to get you qualified. But I know one of you, at least one of you, is thinking, it's okay, Steve. I already know my FICO score. It's on my credit card statement. It's on my bank statement, right? Have you guys seen that? You log in, oh, there's your FICO score. Here's the question. Is that score the same score that the lender's going to use? Yes or no? No, it's not. And I know some of you are scratching your head saying, no, but Steve, you just said they use FICO scores. Well, here's the problem. There's 4 iterations of FICO scores. FICO Classic, developed in the year 2000, is what all lenders continue to use to this day and have done for the past 26 years. FICO version 8 developed in 2008, FICO version 9 developed in 2014, and FICO version 10 developed in 2020 are what they pass out to the public. So here you are looking at your credit card statement and you're saying, oh, well, there's my FICO score. That has to be about the same, right? Because now you're thinking, all right, Steve, I get it. All these different versions of FICO scores. The bank uses FICO Classic, but it's a FICO score, right? Guys, real life example. Can you put that up, please? This is a real life example of somebody on their Discover card statement said their FICO score was a 696. We can all agree that's pretty decent. You can go and try to qualify and get and you tell the lender, oh yeah, I have a 696 according to my FICO score. But then the lender pulled the real FICO score, FICO Classic. It went from a 696 to a 602. Almost a 100-point drop between FICO 8 and FICO Classic. So knowing the correct information is vitally important. Obviously, go talk to a lender. If you're ready to do this right now in the next 30, 60, 90 days, go talk to a lender. Get pre-approved, not pre-qualified, right? Make sure they pull your credit, see what you can qualify with, your income, all that fun stuff. But what if you're saying, well, Steve, I don't know, maybe 6 months from now, a year, maybe in 2027, that's when I want to buy. Go look at your credit through myfico.com. Because myfico.com is the only website in the entire country that will give you the same exact information that the lender uses. Does not count as an inquiry. It does not hurt your credit. Anytime you look at your own credit, it doesn't hurt it. But because you're going to FICO and they want money, you have to purchase it. The cost to do that is $30. Easy enough? Very good. And don't ask questions now. If you have them later, we'll ask them later. Okay. Building credit. A lot of people come to me that 18, 19, 20 years old. They're just starting out. They want to start building credit. Or they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. And guess what? Life happens. Medical things, divorces, job loss, right? Life gets crazy. And now they have to rebuild their credit. How do they do that? You have 2 options. The first one is a secured credit card. Have we all heard of that? A secured credit card is different than a regular or unsecured credit card. Because a regular credit card is you apply for it based off your credit, they're going to give you an approval. A secured credit card says, I don't have any history, or my history is all messed up. So let me give you $200. You're now going to give me a credit card with a $200 limit. I'm going to put $20 on it every month. I'm going to wait for the bill to come in the mail. I'm going to pay it in full. And every month I do that, I'm building and establishing positive credit history, proving myself with the credit bureaus. Easy enough? Authorized user. Anybody ever heard of that? Authorized user is a fantastic tool if you use it properly. I literally just looked at a credit report this week, and the one spouse was so excited because she added herself on her husband's account as an authorized user. The account's a year old, it's maxed out, and he had a late payment. You do not add yourself as an authorized user to accounts that aren't good. When you find somebody, and for those of you who don't know, if you have a friend or a family member, doesn't matter, mother, brother, father, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, best friend, coworker, they have a credit card that's been open at least 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, even better. No late payments, has a nice high limit and a zero balance. That's the card you get added onto as long as it's a MasterCard or Visa, not American Express. American Express doesn't play this game. MasterCard or Visa only. But if you can do that, let's say grandma has a card that's been open for 22 years, always paid it on time, she has a $10,000 limit, a zero balance. Now you get added as an authorized user. Within 30 days, that card shows up on your credit report. Your score could go up 30, 40, 50 points. These are things to do to help lean on somebody else to build the credit. But it's not the end-all, be-all. You have to build your own credit as well. Okay, so it's a supplement. Don't go get added to grandma's 5 cards and now you have an 800. The banks will tell you that's not going to fly. Okay, so you got to develop your own credit. I barely have enough time to go through all of this, but I'm going to give you some of the most important things that I see on a daily basis. Okay, the first one with past delinquencies, we've already decided 30, 40, 50, 100 points for a one late payment. It's crazy to think about. But what I want to focus on real quick are accounts that go into charge-off or collection status. Do we all understand what that is? Let's give you an example. You have a credit card. For whatever reason, life happens, you're not able to pay it. Within 30 days, you get a 30-day late payment, you take a hit on your score. Well, what happens? You continue to not pay it. Now it goes 60 days late, 90 days late, 120, 150, 180. It goes in 30-day cycles. After 6 months of not being able to pay that bill, it goes into a charge-off status. That does not mean you're absolved of the debt. The amount of phone calls that I get that go, yeah, it's charged off, I don't have to pay it anymore. That's not true. And those idiots on Instagram and TikTok that are dancing around about, oh yeah, just dispute things, they'll go away. Stop it. Doesn't work like that. And the credit repair companies like Lexington Law and creditrepair.com, that you're paying them a fee to just dispute the things and make them magically come off your credit, stop it. Doesn't work. If an account goes into a charge-off, a collection, or even a judgment status, you have to address it, and you have to address it correctly. The worst thing you could do is call and pay the account over the phone with your debit card, credit card, or checking account. Why? Here's a real-life example. You ready for this? There was a lady, she had a $1,000 collection with Verizon. It was sold to a collection company. They were hounding her, calling her. Finally say, listen, stop calling me. I'll give you $600 for my debit card. You leave me alone right now. Okay, no problem. Paid the $600. She thinks she's good to go. Ready for this? Real life example. 3 months later, a different collection company calls and says, hi, we're calling you about your Verizon debt. What'd she say? Oh, so you're verifying it was your account? Thank you. Click. They then went into the debit card she had given the first company because they purchased the debt and her debit card information, pulled out another $1,000. This is illegal. Collection companies are terrible. Do not give out your debit card, credit card, or checking account information. Number one, you speak with the lender about if you even have to pay it off, because there's certain situations where it can fit into the DTI, or you work with the underwriter to pay it at closing. But if you do need to pay off debt, pay it off properly. Obtain a settlement letter. Once you have that settlement letter, then you can make the payment with a money order or a certified bank check, and then we can work with the credit bureaus to clean up and remove the negative data. But don't just start calling and paying things. Does anybody here understand the concept of DLA? Do you know what that is? Date of last activity. This is an absolute game changer. Nobody understands it. If you have an open collection from 2020, and now you go and you pay it, so it goes, ready for this? Open in 2020 to paid as a 2026, that's going to drop your score at least 15 to 20 points. Why? Because you took something that was really old and you made it a more recent event. The system doesn't make sense. I'm not here to defend the system. I was trained by John Alzheimer, who helped build this system back in the year 2000. And I used to get into arguments when I sat in class with him saying, this system is ridiculous. What are you guys doing? But this is how the system works. So make sure you understand that. Next, debt utilization. Debt utilization is not debt to income. Debt to income is how much money do I make, how much money do I spend. Does income impact your credit in any capacity? Yes or no? No, not at all. You could make $10,000 a year. You can make $1 million a year. Doesn't matter. What matters is, are you playing by all the rules of the credit, and are you doing what you need to do? So debt to income is, how much money do I make? How much money do I spend? Debt utilization is, how much is my limit? How much is my balance? So if I have a limit of $1,000 and I put $1,000 on that credit card, I'm at 100% utilization, and that's going to be holding down my scores. Steve, it's okay. The day I get the bill in the mail, I pay it in full, so I'm good to go. Does that work? Yes or no? No. Why? Because the credit card company only updates the credit bureau one time per month. The day they send you the bill, whatever that utilization percentage, that's what's now sitting at the credit bureaus for the next 30 days. So you get the bill, and you say, well, I'm bringing it down to 0 right now. And you think you're good to go. Well, the credit bureaus don't know that, and what do you do over the next 2 to 3 weeks until the next billing cycle? Spend, 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 spend. So by the time the next billing cycle comes through, you're at 95% utilization again, and it's holding your scores down. Here's what you need to understand. We want to, and I understand the practicality of what you should do compared to what life is difficult. But if you can maintain lower balances on your credit cards on a consistent basis, that will help you now, let alone what's coming with the upcoming changes in the next 12 to 24 months as we switch systems after 26 years. We're not going to get into it today. Bottom line is, you want to make sure that you're maintaining low balances, and if you do have to use credit cards more than that, more than 10, 20%, make multiple payments throughout the month. Let's say you do have to put $1,000 on there. Fine. A couple days later or a week later, try to make some type of payment. Keep that balance down as low as best as possible. Last thing, I'm in my last minute here. There's so much more to say. Do not close credit cards. Closing credit cards can crazily negatively impact your credit. If you have, let's say you have a credit card here for a $1,000 limit, credit card here for a $1,000 limit. What's our overall combined limits? $2,000. This one credit card is maxed out at $1,000, but this card is your emergency card. It's at $0. What's our utilization percentage right now? 50%. Well, guess what? This card that you stuck in the drawer, that's your emergency card, you haven't used it in the past 6 months. So what happens? If you don't use a card within 6 months, the bank says, you know what? This person doesn't want it. They're going to close it. That comes now off of your credit. What just happened to your utilization percentage? Went from 50 to 100%. What just happened to our scores? Just dropped 30, 40, 50 points. Little things like this that you don't realize how impactful they can be really impactful. So make sure you're getting information. All of you are doing the right thing by getting here today. Continue to get this information. With that being said, my time is up already. I apologize. I could go. I do a 3-hour class for realtors, just as an example, by the way. That's how much information I have. So I can't tell you about all this fun stuff. Bottom line is, reach out if you have questions. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Stephen. Now we have Roxana from HDF and Jackie.
Hello. Okay. Yes, hi. I'm Roxana Jubilus from Housing Development Fund. I'm the director of the counseling department, and I've been a director for 5 years. But before that, I was a homeownership counselor for 15 years. And Housing Development Fund is a non-for-profit organization. We have been around since 1990, and we offer also lending products for first-time home buyers for down payment and closing cost assistance. But I want to tell you a little bit about my story because also I relate to you. At one point, I was a first-time home buyer. I came to the US with the American dream of buying a home. Back in 2000, I remember that the place where I was living, the owner passed away, and his wife decided to sell the building, and it was not going to be a rental anymore. They were going to build condos. I lived back then in Mamaroneck in New York, and I went to a lender, and I remember the lender, the loan officer, asked me to sit down, and he said, sit down, let me see how I can help you. And he was really nice. But he said to me, do you know what is your FICO score? And I didn't know what he was talking about, but I was shaking my head like I knew what he was talking about. Then he said to me, what is your gross income? And I didn't know. And he said, and your net income? I didn't know either. Then he said, well, how much do you make? Around, what do you think you make? Back then, I think I was making like $25,000 a year in 2000. And he said to me, oh, your DTI is going to be too high. How much are the condos? And I said, 150. Oh, no, the ratios are not going to work. And I'm thinking, what is FICO? What is Equifax? What is Experian? What are ratios? What is DTI? And then he said, but maybe you can come back, and when you come back, maybe we can take a look what you can be pre-approved for. And then once you have signed a contract, then I'll do the 1003, the good faith estimate. That was what it was called back then, the good faith estimate. Now it's called the loan estimate. I didn't know what he was talking about. And to be honest with you, I was so embarrassed to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought it was a language barrier, honestly. I said, I never learned this, this language in English. Maybe this is a language issue. And back then, the technology wasn't what it is right now. So it was back in 2000. So I didn't have access to the information. But I wish somebody would have told me that there were housing counseling agencies. There were in New York, in Connecticut. So I decided to go to the library and start learning about these things. I never tell this story, but it's true. I went to the library and I started reading, become a first-time home buyer for dummies, you know, and I started reading. Then one day I turned on the TV and Susie Orman was talking about FICO. I said, that's the word. That's the word I need to learn. What is a FICO? And I pulled my credit report and I started learning about these things. And then when I went to return the book at the library, I saw a flyer that it says seminar for first-time home buyers. And it was a non-for-profit organization in New York. And I went there, but at the time, it was 2005. Could you believe that? 5 years, I was discouraged. I felt like I was not ready. This language, I couldn't understand. And nobody could explain to me in a way that maybe I could understand. And I remember going to the seminar, and they told us about the down payment and the grants and the closing cost. But when I make an appointment, they told me now I was married. I was over income. I was over income for $1,000. I'll tell you the story because I wish they would have told me, you are over income, but wait a minute, you can take a class. The class is available. So in my search, I learned everything I needed to learn. My husband and I, we bought a home. And then I saw an ad on the paper that they were looking, actually, Housing Development Fund was looking for somebody to teach about buying a home. I said, I think I've been getting prepared all my life for this role. And also, I bought a home. I learned everything I need to learn. I speak Spanish. So you will never hear me use the words DTI, LE, 1003, because when I'm doing the counseling, I remember how I felt when people talk to me like that. I didn't understand. And that's why I love Millie, Dante. They talk to people the way, for first-time home buyers, that they need to learn. And that is very important because that could make a difference. People might feel like this is not for me, it's too complicated. I don't understand it. And some people may feel embarrassed to say, I don't know what you're talking about, because people may feel like you're supposed to know, but you don't. You're a first-time home buyer. So when I became the director, I always tell my team, remember, every person who walks through that door is a first-time home buyer, because that is a requirement for the program. So people don't know, clients won't know if we talk like DTI ratios. So we may say ratios, but immediately we say what it means. Front ratio, this is what it means. Debt to income ratio, this is what it means. And we try clients that, even if they are not eligible for our programs, because sometimes we have clients who are over income, I still encourage them to take the class. Because the class, doesn't have income limits. Anyone can take the class, as long as you are a first-time home buyer. I will explain to you the process from the very beginning to the end. And we invite realtors, we invite loan officers, we invite attorneys, so that way they can explain also the piece, because they are the professionals for those pieces of the equation. Like Millie said at the beginning, you will have your team, right? And you will have your team. You're going to have realtors, you're going to have your homeownership counselor, hopefully. You're going to have the loan officer, you're going to have the inspector, you're going to have the attorney. So with that, I'm going to go to the second slide, because I want to tell you what we offer at HDF. So at HDF, and the next one, please, the next slide, or I can do it. Okay. So at HDF, we also offer down payment and closing cost assistance, but it has income limits. But I don't want you to discourage you. If you make more than that, we still have the classes available, so you can still benefit from learning for the classes. We offer them in English and Spanish. And we offer classes for not just buying a home, but also to buy a multifamily if you want to become a landlord and buy a multifamily home. And so those are the income limits, and you have to be a first-time home buyer. You also have to meet certain criteria, because some programs require that you are a U.S. citizen, U.S. resident, or have an approved visa with a work permit. Also, to go to our website, to start the process, you do have to submit paperwork. You have to submit your pay stubs, your tax returns, your W-2s. We will pull a credit report. The counseling is for free, but you do have to pay for the credit report. Right there is our website, but we also have information outside. We put our business cards there, and we'll help you to upload the documents, and we'll tell you the documentation that is needed. And the reason we ask for the documents, because we want to have the whole financial picture, so we can guide you, we can do the counseling, we can tell you what is needed, because it's not just for us to tell you whether you qualify or not, but also to tell you if you are mortgage ready. What is it that is preventing you maybe to become mortgage ready? Maybe you don't have the savings in place. Maybe your debt is too high. But we'll develop an action plan for your case, because every case is different. So that way we develop an action plan that is specific to you. And that's what the counselor will do. Your counselor will review your budget, your income, your credit report, your savings, assess your mortgage readiness, eligibility for HDF loan programs, if that's what you want. If you don't want HDF loan programs, we can also tell you about other loan programs or down payment assistance or closing cost assistance that is available in Connecticut. And maybe you can layer, maybe you can take advantage of all of the programs. We develop an action plan, and we can offer the counseling via phone, Zoom, or in person. And then we follow up. We do a 60-day follow-up to make sure that you are making progress on your action plan. And this is what we look. We look at your employment history, credit history, the ratios, that word again. And the ratios is for the affordability. But we explain all of that to you. We explain what it means. And the reason we do all of this is because we want for you to be prepared. So when you go to the bank to get pre-approved, we tell you exactly what the bank is going to be looking at. And if there is anything that you need to work on before you go to the bank, then you are prepared and you have worked on those things. Okay, so this is about the classes that I mentioned before. And with that, here is Jackie Alves, our director of our lending department. Thank you.
Hi, welcome. My story is a little different than Roxana's. I started at HDF about 15 years ago. I started as a counselor as well. I taught those classes. I learned all about ratios and what to do and what not to do and how to read a credit report and what you're supposed to do. And it still took me 10 years to purchase my first house because I was scared. Because regardless of what anybody tells you, it is a very big thing that you are doing. There's a lot of pressure on you, and there's a lot of documentation that goes back and forth and rereading. So while I had all the knowledge, it was still really difficult to make that first step. So I applaud all of you for coming and getting this education today and starting here. While you go through counseling, you go through the education, you get all the information that you need, you've met with a lender, and there are still some hiccups. It is very expensive in the state of Connecticut to purchase. We're all aware of the rising cost of homes, and so assistance is really necessary for most home buyers, especially first-time home buyers. So most people go into a lender thinking that they need that 20% down payment, and I don't know who is saving that much money when they're paying rents that are well over $2,500 a month. It becomes a real issue. And so I'm going to go through some of our lending programs that can help you to get to that place where you don't need that 20% up front, and these can help you to lower your debt to income ratio, again, we're using that word, that DTI, and allow you to take advantage of the different programs that are throughout the state. So all of us have mentioned, get a team. You have a team in front of you. Education is important. It's not only important for you, it's important for your team to be educated. And so we have a small list of partner lenders who are very well versed on what we do and what we offer and how to make that work for you. Liberty being one of our big contributors, they're a great partner of ours. And so their loan officers are all very well aware of what HDF has to offer and how it can work for you as well. So I'm going to quickly, I apologize, I tend to speak quickly. We're on limited time, so I'm going to quickly go through a couple of our loan programs that are available. We are here for questions afterwards. There's more information on the table up front, so feel free to ask questions. So these are our 3 programs that we have available currently throughout the state of Connecticut. Our main program is our Smart Move Connecticut. It is for down payment and closing cost assistance only. We will give you up to 25% of the purchase price for a 3% interest rate over 20 years. So I know what you're all thinking. Why do I want a second mortgage? Because you can pay a full mortgage at 7%, or you can get a quarter of that mortgage at 3%. So in addition, if you don't have the 20% that we give you, you have to pay private mortgage insurance. It's extremely expensive. It's also just an insurance coverage that helps the bank. It has no benefit to you. Paying a second mortgage for this down payment assistance allows you to build equity in your home and pay off your loan quicker because you're paying down the mortgages rather than just paying an insurance premium. The second program that we have is our Live Where You Work program. This program's extra special because this is $25,000 for down payment or closing cost assistance at a 0% interest rate. So there is no monthly payment. You do have to pay this back. It is not a grant, it is a loan. So you will have to pay it back at the end of 30 years, or if you refinance or sell the home before the end of the 30 years. This opportunity comes with allowing you to purchase more, right, an extra $25,000. That is not going to be included in your debt because there's no monthly payment. So to be eligible for this program, you must purchase in the town where you currently work. It can be a full-time or a part-time position. If it is a part-time position, you do have to have been in that position for 1 year in order to be eligible. And if there are 2 of you on the mortgage, only 1 of you has to work in that town. So this is a great option to help people stay in their community, remain in their community, and be able to afford a little more. Oop, did I pass it? No, okay. So there's a couple things that we look at as far as the Smart Move underwriting conditions. We're going to look at the same thing that the bank does. So while Millie went through, there's a lot of documentation that goes back and forth, taxes, pay stubs, bank statements. We need the same thing. So I'm yet another person on your team that is going to need documentation. You're going to see that go back and forth a lot. We share a lot of the information, but just make sure that you're making copies of all of your documentation. They're going back and forth. Again, this talks about the ratios and the guidelines. And like Roxana said, in counseling, they do discuss that all with you, so you know. And then our last program that I have available right now is our CT Forever Home program. That is for down payment assistance only, so you're not going to get closing cost assistance with this one, only down payment. This one is a 30-year term at a 1% interest rate, so up to $28,000. So again, instead of borrowing $28,000 at 3% or 7% or 6%, you're back to borrowing it at 1%. This one does come with a little bit of a different caveat. So in this one, you do have a 10-year deed restriction on the home. And that means that for the first 10 years you live in the home, if you were to sell the home, you would have to sell it at an affordable price for the next borrower. At year 11, that deed restriction is removed and you can sell the home at market price. So something to think about if you're only looking to stay in the home for a couple years. This may not be right for you, but it's a great option for somebody who's looking to establish themselves. Eligibility-wise is the same things. You do have to be income eligible and a first-time home buyer for all of our programs. And Roxana and their counseling team do go through all of that with you and let you know what you're eligible for. Just kind of a look at the process, because I know there's a ton of members that you've met now on your team. We do go through the counseling with you. At that point, Roxana and her team will give you an eligibility letter as well as a mortgage readiness assessment. With that eligibility letter, you would go to one of our partner lenders and they would give you your pre-approval using our loan qualifications. And like I said, I'm going to be around to answer some questions. I know everybody's got a little bit of a different story and whether or not they're eligible. Your main factors, you want to make sure that you are income eligible for the programs. They are different dependent upon household size, where you're purchasing, things like that. It's all available on our website. And then you also want to make sure that you are a first-time home buyer. So you can't have owned a home or received any interest from owning a home within the past 3 years. And I was quick. I went and had
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, that was really quick. Now, our next speaker is actually building neighborhoods together, Beverly Hoppy. Doris actually was supposed to be here, but she's sick. So, Beverly, take it away.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, perfect. So you can hear me, and I guess I'm supposed to be juggling two things at the same time. I'm not one for technology. Yes, okay. All right, so I just want to thank Pastor Upshaw. I saw him somewhere. There you go. And New Visions International Ministry for inviting me to be one of your guest speakers. I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to speak very fast because this is the person that also teaches a 6-hour pre-purchase class. So I have to flip a switch in my brain to go from 6 hours to 10 minutes. But that's fine. I'm just going to give you the highlights, the Cliff Notes version. All right, this is a great panel of expert guys, so make sure you touch base with them, ask lots of questions. I think there's a brief Q&A, and I guess we'll be hanging around for a little bit to also answer those questions for you. But let's talk about BNT. I need to... I'm not seeing it. There we go. There it is now. Oh, there was a nice photo there earlier with Doris. But anyway, I wanted to apologize on her behalf. The CEO of our agency is Doris Latorre, and she unfortunately couldn't make it today, so I'm also, of course, I was in the schedule, but it would have been great if you had a chance to meet her. So what is BNT? Well, we are a HUD certified housing counseling agency. There's about 500, 600 of similar entities around the country that does serve hundreds of thousands of clients every year. So what we do is fantastic. It's very, very necessary, especially in this environment. There are about 10 HUD agencies, including ourselves and HDF, one of our, I like to say, Jackie, sister organizations in Connecticut. But should you move to another state, please make sure you Google HUD Certified Housing Counseling Agency. The caliber and quality of the education, the counseling, maybe the grants many of them manage is excellent, and it's free. You might pay for a credit report, but beyond that, unless, of course, you're closing on a grant and there's fees involved. Because there's a lot of scams out there, so we don't want you to have to deal with that. We're on State Street. We've been around 40 years. We'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, so that's 5 more years in HDF, right, Jackie? She and I go way back, like 20 years. That's why I keep picking on her. And that's exciting, because we came from a little, small, tiny agency now to one of the largest housing counseling agencies in Connecticut, servicing the entire state of Connecticut. How do we do that? Because most of our services and programs are delivered remotely on the internet. I teach a lot of classes. I'll tell you about that in a second. So we're able to service anyone that is interested in taking advantage of our services. So who are those clients? Once again, this common thread, we service first-time homebuyers. Okay, guys? And that's important to know that because especially in this market we're in now, first-time homebuyers, it can be a little confusing. It could be overwhelming. You're hearing all these terms and what have you. But guess what, guys? We're here to help you navigate that process and to accomplish the goal of homeownership. So at B&T, we help people make informed housing decisions and financial decisions to establish financial stability and eventually, create wealth for themselves and their families. So how do we do that? Well, I'm not sure what you're seeing, but let's keep going, because what I see there is a little different. Mm-hmm. Okay. So one of the programs that we offer, and by the way, some of these things I'm going to be showing you is actually on the table. We also administer a down payment assistance program, guys. This is what it looks like. And this is the city of Bridgeport's down payment assistance program. So I kind of grabbed it because I want to make sure you were aware of that. It's up to $25,000. I'm not, since I don't have a lot of time, get into the specifics. But if you're looking to buy in Bridgeport, because remember, we service the entire state of Connecticut. Only 40% of our clients live in Bridgeport. The rest are Fairfield County, New Haven County, Hartford County, et cetera. But if you're looking to buy in Bridgeport and providing you're eligible for this program, don't leave this money on the table, guys. Up to $25,000. 0% interest rate. There's no monthly payment. It's similar to some of the programs Jackie spoke about, and also the Time to Own CHAFA down payment assistance program. Just got to live there 10 years, and then 1/10 of the amount you get is forgiven every year. Of course, if you sell a refi before the 10th year, you may have to pay back some of it. And it could be layered with some of the programs that the money people have, HDF, Liberty Bank. That's why we love each other. We work in tandem, because the important thing is for you to know all your options, so when and if you're ready to buy, you're not leaving anything on the table. What exactly then do we do at B&T? Well, my role is, let me just advance this. Okay, those are our resources and our programs. We do coaching and counseling, financial coaching and counseling. I'm the education director. I retired from banking, right, Millie? People's Bank after 27 years. That's where I met Millie, so we've only known each other probably 30-something years now, right? That's how we rock and roll. And then I landed at B&T, never worked at a nonprofit before, had no idea what they did. I'm the most senior employee there. I've been there 15 years, and I love what I do. So what exactly then are the resources we have to offer folks? Well, as you can see there, everything in the financial realm. We have certified counselors, including myself. There are 3 of us, soon to be 4. And we help people look at their finances, come up with a realistic budget, help do an analysis, pay down that debt, set goals, whatever that goal is. Maybe just improving their credit, maybe buying a home, maybe staying their home, because we also do a lot of foreclosure prevention counseling as well. We are certified, like I said, by HUD. It's important that you're aware of that. The counseling is done by, The counseling is done by appointment, so you do have to call, and the information that's on the table, or you can come up to me. You are scheduled to meet with a counselor. The counseling is for an hour or so, and they're very busy right now, especially with foreclosure prevention counseling. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of calls with that. My role, however, is to teach classes. I do about 7 to 10 a month. They're all free, and right now they're on Zoom. They're except for some that are face-to-face informational sessions like these. I love it. And those classes primarily are funded by CHFA, but there are other classes that we teach, we roll out, provided we can get the grant funding we offer. So grab one of these when you're leaving. This is the April class schedule. As I said, the classes focus primarily on educating first-time home buyers. We do 2 a month in English. We do it in Spanish periodically. In fact, there's a Spanish class this Saturday for 6 hours, and everything is entirely in Spanish because a lot of our staff is also bilingual. But we teach a landlord class. If you're looking to buy a multifamily, not as an investment, but owner-occupied, you want to know how to navigate that, how to be a good landlord, make sure you're not violating your tenants' rights, security deposits, eviction protocols, the whole 9 yards. I should say I teach most of them, of course, with my background, but I also teach it with some experts in the field. Another popular class I want to invite you to take is the financial fitness and credit class. Those are 2-hour classes. They're all certified classes, by the way, guys. And sometimes people are referred to us by various partners we work with closely in Bridgeport, because you are required to have this information depending on if there's any assistance that you're getting from some of the social service agencies, like Alliance, Child Guidance Center. We teach classes for people going through Habitat and what have you. So there's a lot out there that we offer, guys. You want to take advantage of it. I'd love to, I recognize some faces. I know some of you have taken some of my classes in the past. So we're here to help you. There's a lot more on the deck, but I didn't really want to get into it because I kind of figured with 10 minutes, it would be just kind of overkill. And obviously, if you have any questions, then, when we open it up for Q&A, I'd love to hear from you. Good? All righty.
Thank you, Beverly. Beverly and I actually go many years also together, so
Women's Business Center.
Now we have Ayo, who will talk about the economy and the market.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the fun topic. I hope that you all have been enjoying the information you're getting here today. You probably have like 200 years of experience here, if not more, if we add up all the years of experience for each person here. I have a very important announcement. If you did not sign up for the workshop as you came in, then you're not in the raffle. And so we are at the home stretch. So if you haven't done that, it's the time to do it, because we have some great prizes that are being given away by our sponsors and that have been put together by Elizabeth, our host. So anybody who still needs to, okay, we got it. Was that just a stretch? Okay. Okay, back there. Okay, great. Wadley, we can get you signed up. All right, so as I said, I have the fun topic of what's happening in the marketplace as it relates to Connecticut. And I can't talk about that without talking about what's happening in the world. The big picture for March 2026, I actually did a whole other presentation, and then I looked at it last night and I was like, well, the world kind of changed 3 weeks ago when the war happened. So we have to factor that into it. So inflation, it's back, right? You are paying more at the gas pump, at the grocery store. You could be paying anything like, I think it was like $2.98 a couple of weeks ago. Now it's like $3.75. I found $3.50 the other day. Yeah, exactly. So the rates have reversed course. They were coming down. They have gone back up a little bit. So, wait, where's our mortgage person here? Do we have him? Okay. What's it at today?
Today, with CHAPA, I think it's at 6.25%.
Okay, so 6.25.
Yeah, that's what they're hovering at right now.
Okay.
They increased about a quarter point, I would say, the last.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if my slide is on it. Am I supposed to be doing something with this thing? Okay, wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I thought you guys were following along with me. So yes, the 30-year fix has jumped, but prices for homes are still holding steady. In Connecticut, it's a very competitive market. As someone else said earlier, there's very little inventory, and there are a lot of people who want. So it's a strict case of supply and demand. There is not a whole lot of supply, but the demand is high, which means that the price goes higher. Okay, and lending is still solid. We're not doing things that we did in 2008, which got us into trouble. You will be filling out the applications, and you will be doing a lot of submitting of other documents once you get past the approval stage. When you get to the stage where your underwriters wanting to see documents, they are going to make sure that you are still working, that the numbers that you had before are still there. And the spring season is here, which is great. So spring season usually is a time when more apartments and homes, condos, all of that come to the market. This winter, for sure, people probably held off a lot of properties because of the snow, not wanting to leave their homes for showings and stuff like that. So this might be a really good time for you all to see some nice properties coming on. Okay. Okay, mortgage rates. We talked about this, right? Before the war, it was like 5.99. Now it's around 6.35, and we heard it really depends on each bank or broker where you're going for your source. And the one-year comparison, we see the difference in what's happened. And so let's talk about our local area, right? Most of us are from the Bridgeport area going up to the valley. I mean, I guess we could have a few more people in New Haven coming down to church here. But like I said, it's a competitive market. Buyers are doing their due diligence. And yes, there are still bidding wars going on. There are still people putting in offers well over ask and giving up their contingencies, that you have to talk to your broker, your mortgage. When I say broker, I'm also meaning real estate agent as well, about whether that's something that you want to do. Okay? And so you do have, I don't know, the negotiating power. It depends on where you're looking, okay? Single family versus condos. How many people are looking for a single family? Condo? Okay. So they both have their attributes, right? Single families, you have more yard, you don't share a wall with a neighbor, you don't have an HOA. They will be of a little bit higher price. The condos are a great entry point for you getting into the market. You do have less maintenance that you have to do for the property yourself, because you have somebody, your HOA fees are responsible for cleaning up the snow, garbage collection and all of that, and hopefully you have a clubhouse and a pool attached to that as well. So, with inflation, prices go up. Childcare, groceries, you still have to pay your student loans. Those don't go away for some reason. Property taxes don't go away for some reason, and they do go up. And you have to look at the mill rate for each town to see if it's something that you want to do. The mill rate in Bridgeport happens to be on the higher side compared to other towns in Connecticut, but it's absolutely available on different websites to look at, because that mill rate is going to tell you how much taxes you're going to be paying. Those taxes get rolled into your monthly mortgage payment, okay? And what they also, I have to also say about that, so with mortgage, with your taxes, you will be paying it into your mortgage, because the towns don't want to take the chance that you're not going to pay your taxes, and then they can foreclose on you. The town has the right to take over your property. So the banks say, no, we'll collect your mortgage, your taxes within your mortgage payment every month, although you'll be paying your taxes quarterly. Okay? So is this a good time to buy? If you have a stable job, yes. If you plan to stay in the house for 5 years based on where the interest rates are, yes. Do you want stability for kids? Are you tired of your rent increasing? I literally just closed on a property with a client. We started out as she was looking for a rental. She also had a dog. By the way, if you have a pet, it's even harder to find a rental property. It will take you more time. And if you're up against a deadline, you need to get going, okay? You also need to, so by the time we did the running around and not getting approved for her pet, it just made more sense for her to buy. When we ran the numbers, it made sense for her to buy. In fact, her mortgage is less than the rent that she was going to be paying. So that is something to really think about. And if it's not ideal, if you're stretching every dollar right now, then just keep saving. Wait another year, 2 years, 3 years. And if you're planning on moving in 2 years, probably not the best time to buy in this particular market. And if you don't have stable employment and you're not ready to pay for maintenance costs of a house, which they are always there. So, funny story, that same buyer I was telling you about, the hot water heater was past its prime. We got money back for it. Hot water heater usually lasts longer than what they are designed for. A week after closing, it broke, right? But we got credit for it. So just to say, when you become a homeowner, you do have extra things that come up as a surprise, and Murphy's Law is Murphy's Law. So what are we not seeing? We're still not seeing the same kind of crash that we saw in 2008. We are seeing a lot of money in the market, cash in the market. Like there are people who are outbidding people who are using a mortgage to buy a home. That's unfortunately not going to change probably anytime soon, especially as things in the cities continue to get, what the cities do. And people want to come out and have land and be able to use their car to drive and do 5 things in one day. And I always say, I was amazed at how short a period of time it would take me to do things like go to the Social Security's office, right, to get a birth certificate or whatever. I planned for a whole day based on my time in New York City. I was in and out here in Bridgeport in 15 minutes, right? So, yes, there is something about living outside of a city. And no risky lending, right? The lenders have, they got beat up a while ago, so they're not trying to get slapped around again. Home ownership isn't about timing the market perfectly, right? People say, I'm just going to wait. I'm just not ready, right? And you wait 10 years because you're afraid. I was in that same boat. It's like having a child. Is it the right time? Maybe, maybe not. But if all the things that you need to have happen line up, then go for it. So you want to know you'll have predictable payments. You'll be building equity, and you'll be creating something for your child's future. As someone else said earlier, it is generational wealth that you're building with home ownership. And with the predictable payments, with building equity, if anyone here has already bought their their property, and they're already a homeowner, buying a home and taking the equity out of it is a great way to buy a second property. And continue to build wealth. And I always tell my clients, if you have one kid, buy a property for them. If you have 2 kids, buy another property. You keep teaching your children. You put it in their name. You teach them how to run it. By the time they're 18, you give them the choice to either sell it or to continue being a landlord and reaping the cash from it. So it's a great way for children to learn how to build wealth and also pay for college. Okay, common questions. You can read through these. Should I wait? Maybe you can. It might be too small. Should I wait for rates to drop? Well, you can wait, but it could backfire for you, right? More buyers are going to enter the market as the rates go down. Again, supply and demand. When rates drop, it becomes less expensive to purchase, so more people have the opportunity to join the market. So why wait? You can always refinance later. Our price is going to fall. In this area, not likely. So go ahead and buy. And I don't know what is going on with my Lord. No, I'm seeing, but it's like everything got all ran in together. Okay. Our price is we did that. How much do I really need for a down payment? You can do a FHA and put down as little as 3.5%. Are there first-time buyer programs available? Yes, we already heard about all of that. What credit score do I need? Well, you better talk to your mortgage broker. But, 580, maybe up to 6, as a minimum of 620, if 580 if you're going through a program, maybe. And should I buy a condo first or wait for a house? So it really depends. It's your choice, right? Again, if you don't want the headache of daily maintenance. It was like this year with the snow, it was so good. I live in a townhouse. I didn't have to shovel. That was beautiful. But, you know, it depends on what your desires are, okay? So let's talk. You can budget your planning or do a budget planning. You have a trusted network here. We were talking about teams and who should be on your team. You should definitely have a mortgage broker. You have to have an attorney. You have to have an inspector. You have to have, who else am I missing? Those are the three that you really need. A counselor, yeah. Yeah, a psychologist, absolutely. No, well, actually, that's what actually happens, yeah. The more we as agents become the therapists. And so I want to just thank you all for taking the time to hear what I've brought here today. I've been in the business for 20 years, and I know it was said that don't go with a new agent, but I don't actually agree with that. I was a new agent one time, and I was hungry, and I kicked butt. And the thing to do is that you have to be coachable if you're a new agent, and you have to work under somebody who's constantly able to answer your questions. And newer agents actually probably have more time. So that's not to say that as 20 years in that we don't, but I just don't want you to discount people who are new in the business because they have to start somewhere. And this business is not easy. Imagine, as agents, we do not get paid until you guys close. We have a lot vested into you being successful at the closing table, getting to the closing table. So we could do a whole lot of work and get you the perfect place, and then it goes to the attorney and things fall apart. It gets to the inspector and things fall apart, and we still don't get paid. So I always say, really like your agent. Let us like you too. If we ask you for documents, provide them. If we ask you to get documents to your mortgage broker, do it, because we can't move faster without you moving with us. And it's like working in tangent. Okay, so that's it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ayo. Now, let's give the speakers a round of applause because that was really good. Now, you hear mortgage brokers, lenders. Just have somebody in the mortgage business to do a real pre-approval. There are a lot of mortgage brokers or lenders there that issue pre-approval that holds water like a tennis racket. It's not a real pre-approval or pre-qual. You give your documents, let them explain how they calculated and everything. So we'll open Q&A. Can we, does anybody have questions? I'm sure. Go ahead. Please proceed to the mic. Give your name and let us know who the question is going to go to.
Hi, my question is for Jacqueline. Is that how you say it? You talked about the, what was it? The work where you live program. If you have you talked about a part-time job needing to have it for a certain amount of time. How about a full-time job? How long? Your full-time job is fine. There's no limit for how long? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if it's a full-time position, it doesn't matter the length of time. As far as a part-time position, it would have to be at least a year.
Thank you.
Go ahead over there, please. Yes.
Hi, everybody. Hi. My name is Shervina. I'm actually asking a question for my grandma. She owns a property here in Bridgeport, and she's ready to downsize. She is not educated on the process, and we need some help. So I want to go home with some information for her to at least start with. So can any of you guys point me in the right direction?
My husband and I just downsized.
Okay.
You can talk to him, it's right there. No, I'm teasing. The realtors actually, any of these realtors will be able to help.
Any one of you guys, whoever first, I don't mind.
Go ahead, each one of you answer.
You have our contact information. So you talk to any one of us. You can interview us and give us a call, and we'd be happy to give
So for her, what would be her first step?
Be happy to meet her.
Just to talk to y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be happy, and you can be there as well.
Is she buying a house?
Yeah,
She's
she wants to sell
downsizing.
her house and she wants to buy
Right.
something smaller.
There was a
Yeah.
there was a workshop that I actually hosted, which was downsizing for seniors.
Where was
You
I?
know, well, no, that wasn't a topic that Pastor Dexter asked me to do, but that, it actually it talked about the realtors and how the process works and all that stuff. But call one of the realtors and they'll walk you through.
Okay.
They'll give you a CMA or a market analysis of the value of the home, so that then they'll do some analysis for you. So call any of the realtors.
Okay.
And Millie, I think, has
I
something
want to
to
say something really quickly.
Thank you.
Because your grandma's not a first-time buyer. So if she's looking to downsize and stay in Bridgeport, at Liberty we have a really great program. It's called Good Neighbors.
Okay.
Right now that rate is 0.5% lower than the regular
market rate?
conventional rate. So that rate today is 5.625. You're not going to get that with any other lender. So, and she doesn't have to be a first-time buyer. And I believe she would get the $5,000 credit, right?
What's the age limit?
There's no age limit.
No,
Okay.
minimum
You could, what do you,
minimum age.
no, that would be discriminatory. There's no minimum. Her grandmother. Oh, her I'm sorry.
It's for my grandmother.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
said minimum age for the
Well,
person,
so,
right?
some programs like that, you're downsizing. Is it just, this is the Bridgeport, New Haven program you
Looking at
have?
someone's age would be discriminatory. We would never look at anyone's age for
Okay.
lending. But the program is great. So have your grandmother call me,
Reach out to-
talk to the realtors, talk to me. We will give her.
I think the first step is always talk to the realtor, because you need to know the value of your home and what money your home is going to give you.
I think she had it
before you
valued like 2 or 3 years ago, so
Yeah,
of
no,
course
it's
that's
changed.
So
Yeah, talk to one of the realtors.
okay, thank
Any
you
more
guys.
questions? There's a lot to downsizing. It's also cleaning up your house and getting rid of the junk. Please, go ahead.
For Mr. Steven, pertaining to if you have credit that's in collections, you said not to deal with the collection agencies. If it happens to be charged off, what is the process to pay it off if it has already been given to a third-party company?
It all depends on what you're looking to do. So when an account goes into charge-off, collection, or even judgment, it depends how to handle it based off of what you're looking to do. Meaning, are you looking to try to buy a house in the next 30 to 60 days?
Oh, no.
Okay. Which means we have some time to go in there and deal with it properly.
Okay.
So as a nonprofit, I offer a free consultation. I'm happy to have you get a copy of your credit report, not through Credit Karma, but through my FICO or annual credit report, and we can review the report line by line, and I'll explain to you exactly how we have to handle it.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Stephen
You're
has
welcome.
helped quite a bit of the parishioners here last year, because he's a favorite speaker. Please don't forget to pick up the business cards and flyers that the speakers actually have provided for you. Give them a call, okay?
Thank you.
Any questions? Any other questions? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Tasha. To piggyback off what Shannon was asking, I know you just gave like a brief answer. So on the transverse then, if you are looking to buy it in 30 to 60 days, you said to obtain a letter of settlement? If you negotiate a
Don't-
rate with, go ahead.
Don't touch your credit.
Okay.
So if you're trying to do something in 30 to 60 days, speak to the lender immediately. Have them find out what's going on with your credit. Where are you in the process of where your scores are now? What do your numbers look like? Can you qualify as is? There are positions or are ways to take that and pay it at closing. So
Oh,
we
at
don't
closing.
update the date of last activity, or you don't even have to pay it if it can fit into the DTI.
Oh,
So if you're trying to do something ASAP, don't touch your credit.
don't touch it.
And talk to the lender, let them pull credit, give them all your financial information, and then see what their parameters are. If they say, yes, you do have to get it paid, hey, is there a way to get it paid at closing because I don't want to drop my scores?
To mess
If they
with the
say
score.
you do need to pay it, we need to find out exactly what your time frame looks like, because paying off a debt could take a while for it to actually get it deleted. So it's something that can be done, but step number one, talk to the lender.
Okay, thank you. And then I had another question. There was a question about, mention about like your income, like eligibility according to your household size, right? So it's me and my daughter. Would anyone happen to know what the maximum income would be?
So different programs have different requirements.
Okay.
For HDF, for our Smart Move program,
Mhm.
are you looking to purchase in like Fairfield County, this area?
I think it would. I'm an educator, so there's different programs. I think the program I was looking at, I had to remain in Fairfield area or Bridgeport.
Okay. So ours are done by counties, or as they're called in Alpine region. And so thank you. Sorry, for households, we have one main household income, so it's everybody over the age of 18 that's living in the home. For Fairfield County, it's actually, I thought it went up. Is that the wrong? That's the old one, no? Okay, 148
per adult over or total.
Total. So it's everybody over the age of 18 that will be living in the new home.
Okay.
If your daughter is over 18 and currently enrolled in school, her income would not qualify. Would
She's
not be
11,
used.
so
Okay.
I'm good with that one.
Yeah. Okay. So over 148,000.
Okay.
And CHAFA has their own also income limits. You can look it up, chafa.org. It will give you a list of each town has a different maximum.
Could you
or
spell that?
limit. CHAFA, CHFA.
CHFA?
Yes.
So yeah, their website's chfa.org.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And CHAFA can go up to 100% financing. So any other questions there?
I have one question. Hi, how are you? Vera called me and invited me, so thank you. And Miss Beverly, I've been working with you also on the phone. But for you, is it AO or IO? IO. So you were talking about multiple homes and maybe like general wealth and putting a home in your kid's name. Is that actually possible? Like
Yeah, so essentially it wouldn't be getting a mortgage in their name.
Okay.
It would be the title. So
The
whose name it's
title.
in that's on title and deed would differ from who's responsible for the mortgage.
And does that apply for like co-op situations and
Yeah, but you
things?
need to be careful too. Switching the title and the deed into your children's name would trigger tax implications. So I don't recommend that happens. You probably need to do it in some sort of trust.
Okay.
Is the best way to do it.
Okay.
Because they will have to pay taxes on that.
Susan, best to talk to a lawyer.
Yes,
before
of
you
course.
do
Yes.
anything.
We
Yeah.
can-
Also,
Susan,
yeah,
we
with a
can-
lot of
we can help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
Different-
guys,
And Susan, one of the things that I also warn you, if you put the name of your daughter into that title, she may lose the ability to get the first-time home
Correct.
buyer program.
Right.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
So it's one or the other.
trust
If,
would be
if your child is actually thinking of buying their own house and you added them on title, grandma added it or grandma or mom added, they will not qualify for the first-time home buyer grants.
Right.
Okay?
So trust.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I
Thank
said
you.
that in the beginning. Can't be on title of any house. Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi, I just had a general question. I noticed everything was based around, you need income, you need stable income, you need stable income. If somebody does not have working income, how does that work toward mortgages and things like that? Like if they have other income that's not an employment income.
Yes, you can have social security,
Okay.
pension, disability.
Okay, that was my question,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
because you're not automatically discriminated if you don't have employment.
No.
And,
Yes.
and what about for like the first time home buyer credits? Counts, same thing? Okay,
It's
thank you.
income.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
you.
income. Yeah. Dante has a question.
I was going to add that in some cases you can use Section 8. There's the Section 8 housing.
Section 8 vouchers. Section 8 vouchers can be used. Any other question? No more? One more.
I guess my question would be for Io. Curious to know as far as condo and townhouse information, first-time homeowner programs and credits, the rent-to-buy, do those types of programs make you ineligible possibly, or would there be maybe some type of restriction if that's the course that you're looking to go versus outright buying something like a condo or a townhouse?
So I have found that rent to buy is very hard to come by. It's you would have to really have a good relationship with the owner, and it's not the market for it to support that kind of purchase.
Okay.
Right. It's if you not that's not to say that somewhere else where there's a great demand of sellers wanting to sell and not enough buyers, you could probably negotiate something like that. Now, I don't think it would get registered anywhere so that it would impact the fact that you would be a first-time homeowner still. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on that?
Well, you know, from what I haven't done one of these in years and years and years. Rent to own doesn't exist. I might have done one. I think that they have to keep an escrow account, put everything in an escrow account, and we would have to take a look at it. But to be honest with you, I haven't touched one in years and years and years.
Okay. Attorneys right now, and my husband's going to cringe over there, they don't advise the rent to buy because once, it becomes, there's a fine line because there's an inspection. And if you were actually renting, they can say you damaged the property and so on and so forth. For first-time home buyers, usually this rent to buy is for very expensive homes. And I'll tell you, most of the people that rent it don't buy it.
Okay, thank you.
To piggyback on what they say, there are deals out there. There's always a possibility that you can't find that diamond in the rough. So don't be, discouraged because you can turn, you're better off to work with an agent who knows about creative financing because they do deals like this all the time that are happening, that are doing non-traditional deals. So if you have an agent that is making deals and they know about creative financing, they can get you in a deal with rent-to-own. And that's, even it can be as simple as when you find a place that you want to rent, you have your agent make the offer right then and there, include the package. We want to rent this, we want to own this place. So here's what we're offering. For 1 year, year 2, we will do X, Y, and Z and close it 24 months. And they can set the terms right up in there. So it can be done, okay? You just have to get an agent that knows how to do creative financing and deals.
Again, be very careful because once you put that offer and let's say after a year, you change your employment position or something like that.
Yes, you're bound, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
You'll be bound. Well, it's a binding deal.
Yes.
So, I mean, it would be like an investment, like you purchased a home, but it's a creative deal and a creative way to get into a house.
Another thing too, which I've come across, and you need the auction, foreclosure auction. They auction the house. When you're a first-time home buyer,
I always recommend that. Yeah.
I always say to you, get your attorney, get your lender, make sure it's ironclad because once you win that auction, you're in for it.
Yeah.
So
that's not real. I wouldn't recommend that for first-time home buyers.
Is that more along the lines of like fixer-uppers and things
It
like
could
that?
be. Those deals are as is. They're sold from the banks as is and the investors as is. So you'll be picking up that property based on the condition. Could be tenants included. So you'll be picking it up based on the terms and conditions as is that house.
And remember, foreclosure, so the person that had that house didn't take care of the house anymore for years. So there are things that needs to be fixed.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
But you would still be qualified for the first-time home.
Hello. So my question, I learned about a lending option that wasn't discussed today called the 203K. Okay.
So, I'll say Billy. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, that's great. A 203K loan is a rehab loan, basically. You're purchasing the home. Maybe it needs a roof, it needs furnaces, it needs to be repaired. You incorporate, but you can't do any of the work yourself. That's the catch. You have to hire a licensed and insured contractor to even do the painting, okay? Those are kind of hard to come by these days because the inspectors, There's investors that are coming in and they're scooping them up cash. So I haven't done one. Are they available? Yeah, you may be able to come across one that you can do, but they'll incorporate the purchase and the rehab amount will all be included in the loan.
Okay.
There are two types of 203K. There's the streamline. The streamline is if you only need, I think, about $25,000. But with that, actually, they deduct certain things, so it's really like $20,000. So if you're buying a house and the construction cost to cure is about $20,000-$25,000, there's a streamline which actually is much easier to get. But the full K, the 203K, it's a tougher program. But it's, again, you can try for it, but you need patience.
Yes.
Okay.
Long patience. You need to pray very hard. Yes. Because there's the paperwork, it's mind-boggling.
It's a lot. That if you work with a good lender that knows how to put the program together,
Okay.
and explains everything to you, like I just told you, you can't even do the painting yourself. You have to have an insured and licensed contractor do the work for you. So if you work with a lender that knows how to put them together, you'll be good. It'll be good. The only thing is, like I said, you have to be prepared. There's a lot of extra paperwork.
And a good realtor. Really, a good realtor that negotiates this 203K for you. Okay.
And I would love for you guys to talk more about layering the different grants.
Absolutely. I would love to say that because I didn't have enough time. And when I start speaking, I love doing this so much. When I start speaking, I go up and I get off track. But the layering, we do it at Liberty. What that means is that, my go-to program right now is the state of Connecticut because they have the time-to-own program, which is $25,000. It is a forgivable loan over a 10-year period, right? But then, like I said, at Liberty, we like to know what other programs are available for you. More than ever now, we need to leverage those programs to try to help and keep your monthly payments as low as possible. So we may say, okay, let's work with HDF over here. Can they do the 20% with their wonderful, Smart Move program? Do they qualify for Live Where You Work? I've had customers that have leveraged 6 different sources, okay? Whether it be, like I said, the Smart Move program, that's a 0% loan. It's not forgiven, but it's $25,000 extra that you have to work with, right? So we layer them. Grants, if there's grants that we hand you money. If you do our good neighbors, at the end you get $5,000. Okay, we give it to you for closing costs. So oftentimes we have 6, 7 different sources. I remember I had a customer one time. She had $110,000 in subordinate liens between her 6 different sources that she had. That helped her keep her payment very low, affordable. Because that's what we want to do more than ever now. I know my grocery bill was $400 last week.
So each town, there's a list. I think Beverly would have that. They have grants, like Fairfield, the town of Fairfield has a grant. Bridgeport has a grant. New Haven has a grant. So talk to Beverly because they have that list. And if you
Okay, so I was going to say,
did you bring
your
that
counselors, many have access to those different types of financing throughout different types, and they can let you know what is available. They probably will not be able to do your eligibility for it, but they will let you know if something else is available in that town that you are able to go visit. I just want to piggyback on the layering portion. It sounds scary to have 6, 7 different sources of funding, but those 6, 7 different sources of funding can easily save you $500 to $1,000 a month in your monthly mortgage payment. It can easily allow you to purchase something that is more than what you had qualified on straight income on a straight mortgage. And in this economy, take advantage. There is nothing wrong with layering different funding sources. Take advantage of your first time home buyer once, right? Take advantage of it. Go through it and make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck.
So can I piggyback on that?
Go ahead, Beverly.
Yeah, so I don't have a list per se. Maybe what you're referring to. A lot of these questions, guys, are answered and more in the 6-hour pre-purchase class that we offer twice a month. Down payment assistance programs, all the different loans we're talking about, CHAFA, HDF programs, what's involved in being eligible, the different income thresholds and what have you. So what I've done as an educator teaching these classes for over 15 years, I tried to put together a fairly up-to-date list of what's out there. I've gotten to the point now I haven't touched it in a while because the programs keep changing.
Yeah, that's exactly why you need to.
So I don't give it out. I have it internally to train our
Yeah,
counselors.
well, I saw that list, and that's why.
And half of what's there is because there might have been programs that certain banks have. They're not there anymore.
So it changes
So it
constantly,
keeps
so it's always good to call the counselors. Call the counselors, call the lender, find out, or go online and find out. But
it's online.
Beverly said, do not leave any money on the table.
Exactly.
You know, if you're
but
first
if you
time
call
home
the
buyer.
counselor, we can't say, well, this bank has a. We start the intake process. You know, same thing as HDF. You come in for a counseling
And there
session,
are a
or
lot
2
of-
or 3 or
yeah.
4 or 5, and then as we frame that out, you're ready to buy now. Let's see what programs are out there: municipal, banks, HDF, time to own, City of Bridgeport. But it's not a one-off call. Oh, here's some grants you can go apply for.
Yeah, this is.
That would be disadvantageous. We don't counsel like that.
So one of the things that one of the members that actually of the church that called me just a couple of weeks ago, I directed to a bank because I know that bank was giving quite a large sum of grant, you know, to so that she could apply, she would qualify for it. So she's getting the town grant, the bank grant, and hopefully the CHAFA grant, so she'll get about $90,000, right? So I haven't followed up yet. That was a couple of weeks ago. So they still call me, the church members still call me, and I guide them where to go, you know. So you have a question? Last question, then we are going to wrap up.
So I wanted to know if Kickoff and Self was a good way to build credit.
Yes, it's fine. What I will hesitate is the self-building loans, because those give you for 12 months, and after 12 months, you stop building credit.
Right.
So if you get like a self-credit card, and it's a continued thing, kind of like the secured credit cards, where a credit card you can have in perpetuity, right? So you open it now, you're going to have that for the next 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years.
Okay.
That's okay. Where I struggle is those short credit builder loans, and it's through Self, it's through other banks and stuff. Although they can be helpful in the short term, you want to make sure you're developing more long-term credit as well.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. And thank you guys for everything.
Alan, can we actually put the PowerPoint on screen? Okay. Okay, so.
I just wanted to say one other thing. Our services are free, guys. Just wanted to re-clarify. So everything we talked about, counseling, classes, it's free of charge. Because I assume people know that.
Yes.
But when we're doing intake, clients assume there's a fee factor. So please take advantage of all
And I really encourage you to call the panel of experts that we've actually put together here. We know them, they're trustworthy, and they're not going to lead you astray. So, who to call? You get their flyers outside. Ask Paula for phone numbers. She'll have it. Call me. I'll give it to you. Now we're going to the most interesting part of this workshop. And we have the raffle prizes. So, yes, I get donations and I donate some. So we have 3 second prizes because HDF donated a $50 gift certificate as well. So the 4th, we'll start with the 4th because it's the smallest one. It's a Kotek self-charger for any smartphone or iPhone. Do you have that up? There. So let's have Io pick one. We have 60 attendees, 1 to 60, please. Pick a number. No, just a number, 1 to 60. 22. 22. So Io, you read.
Claudia Antoine.
Claudia, Miss Paula will have that. It's Yeah, the Kotak. The third prize is actually a Land's End. Is that a leopard tote? Yeah, I donated that. I bought it Land's End. So, Vera, let's. 18.
Yadley, Charles. Hi, Yadley.
Now we have three second prizes. So let's have Kyle first pick a number. Yes. 10. It's up to 60. Guys, up to 60. Okay. Okay, you read it, please.
Jenna Carvelis. Jenna Carvelis.
Okay, Jenna, you get a $50 Home Depot gift certificate from Liberty Bank. Roxanne or Jackie, 1 to 60, please. 59. Oh, wow, 59. Okay. I'll give you the task of reading it.
It's okay. 59 is Wadeline Emmanuel.
Last but not the least, she gets a $50 Dunkin' Donut gift certificate. Thank you to HDF. They donated that. And another $50 gift certificate from Liberty. Why don't you pick one to? Okay, 22, we already picked that. Can't win twice, can't win twice. It's 1 to 60.
Why don't we pick number 50?
50.
Number 50 is John Brockenberg.
John Brockenberg, are you here? Home Depot. And Pastor Dexter, you get to pick the last one, the first prize, which is a, what is it? A Skylight Plus. My husband and I donated it. It's actually a digital thing that I think goes to Wi-Fi as well. Put pictures, but it goes number 1. Oh, number 1. No, she didn't. No, she knows who she is. She knows who the number 1 is.
Number 1 is Melanie Scott.
Congratulations. Thank you very much for attending the workshop. I hope you come home with, you've gathered enough information to navigate the home buyers process. But call any of us, and like I said, my husband said I should retire, but it's very hard to retire. I have the expertise. Feel free to call me and I'll lead you the right way with the right bank, and thank you, Liberty, for being our sponsor today. Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause for all of our panelists and experts? Once again, thank you for being so generous with your expertise, your experience. They will be here, so you can come and have some conversation with them. You want to do this another year, Beth? Yes. So we'll do it next year as well. But I think some things that are related to investing and multifamily and that type of thing. If there's another target workshop to explore, maybe towards the second half of the year, it'd be great to have a conversation about that.
That would be good, and I'm very willing. I love New Vision Ministries, so our international ministries, and my husband, as they know, started with the ministry actually very early on with Bishop Calhoun. So
Yes.
that's why it's near and dear to our heart. So yes, I volunteer for Pastor Dexter to great. And all you church goers or ministry goers, yes. I will go ahead and continue.
Wonderful. Awesome. Awesome. Andy, it's good to see you. Andy was our attorney for all of our real estate transactions, going all the way back to 130 Gregory Street. And he is retired. If you haven't made the connection, he is married to Beth.
He's 83 years old. You think he deserves to retire? Well, we're young.
So I'm just gonna. What's up? What y'all say? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. I heard something. We're gonna pray and close. I just want to release a blessing and a blessing for you guys too, because of your effort and your work in the community, and that we'll continue to see this area rise because of things like this. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for everything that we have encountered today. I thank you for each and every panelist, Lord. I pray a special blessing for them as they do this work. I can hear their passion. I can hear their integrity. They really want to help people. And so, Father, would you continue to give them the strength, the energy, and the wisdom to work in their area of specialty, that there would be moments that matter, even as they help people take a step forward towards wealth generation. Lord, I pray that you would bless them, bless their families, that you would bless the work of their hands as it is good work. I thank you for each and every person within this who signed up, who came. Lord, you know their hopes, you know their dreams, you know their aspirations, you know their current financial situation, you know all of those things, and yet we thank you for being able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ask or think. We elevate what we're asking for. We're elevating and understanding what we can think and what we can logically begin to understand about the process of pursuing property. And so I pray that we will have testimony of people who were able to take that step, and may their homes be blessed, may their children be blessed and their family members, may their communities be blessed as we have more and more people of integrity who move into communities and make it a better place. And we just pray that we will continue to grow and be good stewards of everything that you've placed in our hands. This we pray in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, panelists. Enjoy the rest of the day.